Audiobooks New Zealand presents this unabridged reading of 1 Minute Crying Time, written by Barbara Ewing. Narrated by Barbara Ewing. In New Zealand, in the 1950s, it was very expensive to make a telephone call from one part of the country to another. Toll calls, we called them. And the price of making a telephone call to another country in those years was prohibitive. It cost £1 per minute when I first arrived in London to telephone or to be telephoned from New Zealand, and I was living on about £5 per week. I was a student at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, and my £5 per week had to cover rent and board and tube fares and tomato soup for lunch. So I kept in touch with friends and family by letter and got into the habit of sticking their photographs on the walls of wherever I was living. But one of the New Zealand telephone operators I'd got to know earlier when I was sent away to the South Island, a euphemism in those days for pregnant, unmarried girls being dealt with, although in this case I was simply being sent away to the South Island. He told me that the New Zealand overseas operators, who connected calls manually in those long ago days, had to stay on the line to make sure the connection was not lost. An agreement had to be made beforehand with the operator as to how long the call would be. It was conventionally 3 minutes. And as these expensive phone calls were almost always made only when it was a matter of life or death or heartbreak, the listening New Zealand operators, who had to interrupt to say, "I'm sorry, but your time is up," were informally permitted to allow, as well as the 3 minutes, 1 minute crying time. Today, with certain 21st century technological and financial arrangements, I can phone for as long as I like from or to either country, and am permitted to cry or laugh, hopefully without anyone listening in, though who knows, for free. Chapter 1. 1st of January, 1951. Stayed up on New Year's Eve to sing Auld Lang Syne at midnight. Drank ginger ale with Mum and Dad and Andrew. Ross was asleep. Tonight, we left Wellington for Timaru. A calm night. We are sailing across Cook Strait on the Rangatira. 2nd of January, 1951. Landed at Lyttelton at 7 a.m. Caught train to Christchurch. It was cold. Caught train...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?